Peace family, Vie Darling, the Cosmic Queen and dear intergalactic interpreter, and we are finding out what is the tea for money matters in the next 7 days. So I already shuffled, I already tuned in 6 of Wands at the bottom of the deck. And we got the Knight of Pentacles and the Empress in reverse at the bottom of the deck. Okay. That I don't know if I love. 2 of Swords, Queen of Wands in the direct, 2 of Pentacles in the direct, the Sun, and 6 of Pentacles. Oh, actually, I do like this. I do like this. But I also need to take a second to meditate on it. So give me a moment. Okay, now that I have the cards laid out in front of me, 2 of Swords, Queen of Wands, 2 of Pentacles, the Sun, and 6 of Pentacles very clearly to me means that there's still healing that's happening in your material realm. And so if you are noticing that like, oh, you don't have hella money coming in right now, that's okay. It's nothing to do with you. It's literally because those parts of you are being healed. If you haven't watched my Instagram lives, I've been talking about leaving the dried up well that you can only get a thimbleful of water from, and you are sitting out here perched and dehydrated, and not only moving to a new well that is full of life, the fountain of life, but going directly to the source, going to the river. And that is really hard for a lot of us to do. A lot of us don't want to. And so, you know, we may be looking at our old life, our past life, thinking like, oh, this is what I'm going to have to do. Like, how am I going to make this work? I'm going to have to live like this forever. But understand that you are the master of your domain. You're the master of your energy. So that's actually not true. You're not going to have to. I think that a big thing that is important for us to understand is that like, we are moving into this new life where we are no longer burdened by the trials and tribulations of the past, the energy of the past. Those things are no longer going to be hindering us. And more, there are going to be opportunities for you to move forward and just forge a better, brighter, more beautiful, abundant life for yourself. 6 of Pentacles, as I said, like there's healing going on and it's uncomfortable. 222 on the clock, but it's also necessary. So I do want to get like information as to if we should be conservative with our funds right now. So I already feel like the answer is yes, be conservative with our funds, but 7 of Swords to me is saying like, it's really about the mindset. Like spend on what you need to spend on, and don't be making decisions from a wounded place, a wounded part of you. And that means that don't be spending money you don't need to spend because you want to impress others, but also don't be not spending money because you're afraid. Hope that helps. Peace family, I actually felt like there was more of a message to be shared with all of you regarding the money matters. So this is going to be a part 2 to what you can expect in the next 7 days. I asked if we were meant to be spending money or not, and I got this sense because I pulled 7 of Swords, and I don't, that was at the bottom of the deck. I don't know where it went, but here it is. 7 of Swords. So right now is not the time to be allowing our decisions, especially in regards to prosperity, to be ruled by our ego, that is to say our fears. The ego is meant to keep us safe. It's meant to help us survive. But if you've already mastered survival mode, which you have, because if you've been going through tough times and you're still here and somehow you are actually in a better situation than you ever were, and you're ready to put down all of those old maladaptive coping mechanisms, the only difference is that like the external reality does not yet match all of the effort that you have put in. And that is an energetic thing. That is not anything to do with you. I would be willing to bet that by the end, King of Cups in the reverse, exactly, like your interactions with the cosmos and with the ethers are not contingent upon your own energy fully. Okay, like this is the reason why I get really annoyed with people being like, oh, like it's the, you know, mind over matter, my mind controls everything. No, it does not, because planetary consciousness is a higher form of consciousness than human being consciousness. Planets have more power over what happens on Earth than you do, period. And this is why I just be like, yo, if you consider yourself to be spiritual and yet you're sitting here thinking that your mind is what controls everything, no, you take your mind and you master how to work with the energy of the world around you. You don't just impose, because that is actually not wise. That doesn't show mastery. That doesn't show anything positive in terms of alchemy, spirituality, none of that. So I'm gonna keep it real with y'all. If you're, I guess this is a message for somebody. Like, you may be like, oh, my manifestations are coming into fruition because like I don't do enough and I need to do more in this direction and more in that direction. It might not be that. It might actually just be because the energy isn't right for it yet. But that doesn't mean that you stop. That just means that you lean into how you interact with this energy. Okay. Peace, family. Vie Darling, the Cosmic Queen and your intergalactic interpreter. And this is going to be, okay, there's the sun. This is going to be the final part of Cosmic Tea, what you can expect for your money matters in the next 7 days, inshallah. So yeah, a lot of people think like, oh, my manifestations aren't coming to fruition. It either doesn't work or like there's something wrong with me. I'm not doing enough. And this is because people who preach like mind over matter, the human mind is the most powerful thing in the universe, in this world, they are narcissists. Those people have, I'm not going to say that they're narcissists, but they are operating from a narcissistic mental framework that is also just holistically, fundamentally flawed. And that is why they are actually not as in alignment as they may think that they are or pretend to be. So honestly, if you are following some guru who spews this kind of like, I don't even know what to call it, but it's nonsense. This acidic is what I'm hearing, acidic, acerbic nonsense. It's detrimental and it's dangerous information to be operating from because it's simply not true. You know, if you think that the moon, which is not even that big, which is a satellite to our planet, the moon pulls the earth away from the water and the water away from the earth. And you think that doesn't have an impact on you, and you think that doesn't have an impact on the energy on earth, we know that it literally does. So, you know, to think that the energy around us doesn't have some impact on what's happening in the collective, to think that, you know, I can force my agency and autonomy onto somebody else and I'm still self-sovereign. I can rob others of their agency and their autonomy and I'm still self-sovereign. It's a no. It's a no for me, boo. So, you know, I want to say this because a lot of you need to hear this for whatever reason. This way that y'all are going about trying to 224 on the clock, this way that y'all are trying to go about getting what it is you want. I understand that you really, really want these things because you may even feel like you need these things. But why don't you have some gratitude for the things that you actually do have in the here and now? Because that's actually going to be more helpful for getting you from point A to point B, which you're trying to get to, than trying to control the situation. Right now is not the time to try to control anything. It's bigger than you. You couldn't even understand it. You couldn't begin to comprehend it. Let it go and let God, please, I beg. Okay, seriously, 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 come on, y'all. Come on. Okay, this is going to be the fourth and final. I bet a lot of people are not even going to see it because TikTok is probably going to be posting too much in one day. But yeah, so final messages are like, stop struggling. Stop struggling. You know, like, if you're getting inundated by the waves, struggling is only going to make it that much harder for you. Let go and let God. You know what I mean? Like, you're trying to swim upstream when you're a downstream fish. You know what I mean? And maybe there is no stream right now. Maybe it's just a torrential downpour. And there's a storm. There's a storm is what it is. There's a storm. Okay? 5 of Wands, you're afraid, the Star, Four of Swords, the Tower in reverse, the Hermit. If you are afraid that you will fall, that you will flounder, understand that you are protected divinely. Like, that's not going to happen. I know that it's been really hard and you have been feeling into your maladapted coping mechanisms because you feel like you need to switch back into survival mode as opposed to thriving mode. I would really encourage you to do whatever you can to remind yourself that you're okay and that you are held and that you are protected. Okay, you are one of God's creatures and you are beloved. You are beloved. You are cared for. Please, please don't ever forget. You know what I mean? Like, I understand that things have been really hard, but like, God, the Most High, whatever you want to call it, y'all know I call it like whatever, really cares and loves you. Seven of Cups in reverse. This is going to be the end of all of the hardship. And this is a long lasting end of all of that hardship because the energies that were making it hard for you, as I said, they were not necessarily yours. Because it's cups, it's not about your karma or your actions. Perhaps it's about the family that you incarnated into or the bloodline you incarnated into. Blood having to do with cups because it has to do with water, spiritual, elemental correspondence is water. Okay, and the same for the ethers, the atmosphere, the energy, the etheric energy. Okay, it's not about what you are doing, because if it were, then I would have gotten wands, but that's not what it is. So it's time for you to surrender, you know, really dive into, I mean, I would plan for what is to come, not for what is. Okay, so I hope that helps.